Good morning, children. When continuation for the next topic is Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect is nothing but the scientist named Tyndall had invented and discovered this Tyndall effect, and it was majorly observed in forest regions. Like for example, if we move to Tirupati, while we are going up the hill, we find some tall trees, right? In between the light passes in between them, and if we move in a winter, we find some mist and droplets of water, which are the small particles. Means small particles are nothing but the colloidal particles. Okay. For example, let me take an example of an ice cream. Do you think an ice cream is a colloidal substance? Okay. Let me say how the ice cream becomes colloidal solution. What do you think about ice cream? And do you know what are the ingredients that are present in ice cream? Yes. The ice cream consists of milk, sugar, and water flavors like butterscotch, chocolate, and any fruit mixes like strawberry, mango, etc. So, this ice cream is formed from the mixture of slowly chilled from the milk, and churning process occurs. In the churning process, the air bubbles will be eliminated and dispersed. So elimination of small air bubbles makes the mixture tight and becomes as we can see it as a foam, and the large ice crystals are also in the tiny particles. As a result, because of churning, as we learned earlier, churning of buttermilk, right? At that time, what happens? The denser particles will be on the top and lighter particles will be stayed at the bottom. In the similar fashion, while churning the milk, which consists of milk, sugar, and flavors, all these three will become mixed and the solution becomes very tightened. So let us know the properties of suspension and colloidals. Suspensions are nothing but the heterogeneous mixtures. Colloidal are also the same as the heterogeneous substances, but it looks like a homogeneous substance. Okay. These suspensions can be seen with the naked eye, and colloidal solutions are very small, so we can see with the naked eye, but the particle size will be very small. Here, the particles of the suspension scatter the beam of light. Okay. Beam of light. In the colloidal solutions, the colloidals are big enough to scatter the light passing, which makes very visible. As the size of the particle is small, so light easily falls on the scatter or move in a different direction. Okay, and these other two properties related to the suspension and colloidals. Okay, how to separate the components of a mixture? There are so many processes. By using these processor, we can separate the mixtures. Means it may be a homogeneous substance or the heterogeneous substance. So the separation of the components may be in the form of in any different physical state. It may be either a solid, liquid, or gas. For example, if you take solid may be milk fats like cheese, paneer, or etc. Liquids may be water, oil, ghee, etc. In the form of gas means, as you all know, that some air. Okay, next we'll be knowing how the components will be get separated. So before knowing sublimation, what do you mean by sublimation? This is a process to separate the mixture of components. Here, considering an example. For this experiment, we need a stove. These all are the parts which are used in a chemical laboratory. Okay, stove, flame, a china dish, a cotton plug, a funnel, okay, and you should also know what are the components that are used in a chemistry lab or a chemical lab. In these all the activities which are given for the different separation activities, we all need some of the components like stove, flame, china dish, cotton plug, funnel, beaker. Do you all know beaker? It will be looks like as a bigger the test tube. Okay, a wooden plate, and based on the type of process we use the type of components. Okay, for this sublimation process we are taking a china dish, a inverted funnel, a cotton plug, and a solidified ammonium chloride. What is the formula of ammonium chloride? NH3Cl. Or ammonium. Ammonia means NH4Cl. Ammonium means NH3Cl. Okay. Ammonium chloride. Chloride means Cl. Ammonium NH4. Okay. So these two are the components. Okay. For this example, take a china dish. Take a glass funnel. This is meant by a glass funnel. Okay. This is covered with the cotton plug. Okay, next this dish is kept on the on this china dish. A big funnel is placed. So while heating we should observe what happens. Here we will see the dish which contains the ammonium chloride and salt. What is the formula of salt? Salt is nothing but the sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is nothing but NaCl. Na is the chemical formula for sodium and Cl is the chemical formula for chloride. Okay. Next, we find vapors of the ammonium chloride. Means the solidified ammonium chloride is formed on the funnel. Okay, these we are using ammonium chloride, right? While heating, the vapors of ammonium chloride are formed on the side walls of the funnel. We can also use the type of mixtures like camphor and naphthalene in the place of ammonium chloride. The process of heating and getting the vapors on the side of the funnel is known to be as a sublimation. Next, coming to evaporation. What do you mean by evaporation? Means evaporation is nothing but you will also observe while heating water, you will find some vapors on the top. It is known as evaporation. To know brief about it, let us see an activity. The process of evaporation. Take a stove or any flame and place an wooden plate. On the top, place one beaker. On the top of the beaker, place some watch glass. Watch glass will be like a glass plate. Okay. Now pour some water in the beaker. Now observe what happens. What happens? The water gets boiled up and vapors will be on the top of the below the plate. Okay, next we will be placing some ink. So then what happens? Ink is in the form of liquid, means tight liquid, and here this water is in the form of liquid. Okay, this is the liquid which contains different chemicals, right? The pens which we use consist not only ink and some of the external chemicals. So after evaporation what becomes is the ink particles get separated, means some chemicals will get disappeared, means the watch glass will be in the watch glass. At the bottom we'll find the one substance and on the top some substance. We can see the difference. Okay, next we can separate these components by using chromatography. The chromatography is nothing but it is a laboratory technique which is used for the separation of mixtures. Okay, what do you mean by chromatography? It is a process which is used to separate the colored pigments in the plants. In the biology, I think you had studied what is the process of chromatography. This is used to know the color of the flowers and plants, and it is based on the composition of mixtures also. To know brief about what is meant by chromatography, let us learn an lab activity. To learn any lab activity, first we should know what is the aim of the activity, what are the materials that are required to do the experiment, and what is the process and precautions are made to know to do the activity. Okay, see what is the aim. The main aim of this is to separate the components of the ink using the chromatography. Here what is meant by chromatography? It is nothing but the separation of mixtures. Okay, here what are the materials required? A pencil, a sellotape, a beaker, a strip of filter paper, a marker line. Now first we should take the beaker and add some water to it and place one pencil. To that pencil we should attach a filter paper and to the filter paper and pencil, to stand on it we should use some sellotape and fix it. Okay, now we should place this sellotape into the beaker so that the marker line does not touch with the water. Again, to the next activity, draw. This is the first we should use the permanent marker and observe the change, and next we should use a non-permanent marker and we should do the experiment. Now take two more paper strips and marker as a sample to do the experiment. As I said earlier, we should take two papers, one with the permanent marker and another with the non-permanent marker, and we should observe what are the changes in it. So we will find the change as this line will be changed, means the thicker line will becomes very thin, means the ink which contains this thicker line will be move forward. Okay, we should place it and leave it for some time. Okay, next, separation of immiscible and miscible liquids. What is meant by miscible and what is meant by immiscible? Before going to know what is miscible and what is immiscible, miscible means which can dissolve. Miscible, immiscible. What is meant by miscible? Miscible is nothing but which can dissolve. What is meant by immiscible? It is nothing but which cannot be dissolved. Here the miscible is nothing but a liquid when combined with another liquid. For example, lemon juice added to the water. These two are liquids, right? Then these two will be combined. So these two will be combined. It is called miscible. What is meant by immiscible? For example, if we take oil or kerosene, when added with the water, what happens? It will not dissolve, right? After the process also it will not dissolve. This is called immiscible, and this process is called miscible. Okay, to know about miscible and immiscible, we'll see one activity. This is called a separating funnel. This will be found in a chemistry lab. This we will be seeing what are the parts present in this. First is a separating funnel, and this is the kerosene, water and stopcock. Then we will see, as you all know, that the denser particles will remain down and upper particles will be very thick, means will be very dense. Keep it undisturbed for some time and you will find the oil and water layers are formed differently. Now open the stopcock, means it will be like opening of a tap. This stopcock will be like a opening of the tap. Here you will find the oil reaches the stopcock. Here it reaches to the stopcock. Here we will be finding the oil and kerosene. After a combination of these two, when we placed undisturbed, these two will become separated. Okay, these two will be unseparated, means here oil and kerosene are immiscible liquids. Okay, next we'll be taking some more examples like water, ethanol, and other examples like, as I said, lemon and juice. These are all the normal examples, means physical examples, and these are the chemical examples which we are discussing as miscible liquids and immiscible liquids. What is meant by distillation. Distillation is nothing but it is a process of separating the components. Means to know the better understanding, let us take an example. This is an experiment which consists of a clamp, distillation flask, thermometer, water outlet, mixture of acetone. This is a mixture of acetone and water. Do you know what is the formula of water? H2O. Do you know what is the formula of acetone? C3H6O. Okay, these two are mixed. Okay, water for outlet and water for condense. Okay, in the similar fashion, first we will be placing one beaker, one flask, one conical flask, and to that we will be tightening with the clamping screw. This is the distillation flask. In the distillation flask we will be adding the mixture of both acetone and water. To the outlet of the distillation flask we will be placing one water outlet which is having some cold water, and to the we will be placing one small test tube for the outlet, and to that one beaker. Now what happens? Acetone and water are miscible, so they get mixed up. Here in the distillation flask we find one thermometer. Means thermometer is nothing but which is used to check the temperature, right? Now when attached to the condenser, this is the condenser. When attached to the condenser, the flask on the other side of the condenser in the beaker to collect the distillation. Means here while burning this gets heated up, right? After heating up there is no place for the vapor to go out, so it moves like this. The vapor gets moved to the water outlet and next to the beaker. Okay, the heat mixture keeps slowly watching the thermometer. The acetone vaporizes and condenser will condense. Here the acetone will be collected at the condenser outlet. And the remaining water will be remain still in the distillation flask. So from this experiment, what do you understand? What is the definition of distillation? Distillation is nothing but the separation. By using this technique we will be separating the components, like separation of acetone and water. Means acetone get evaporated and moved to the beaker and water remains the same. And next, what if the boiling point of two liquids are close to each other? What happens? For example, if the temperature is about 25 degrees and less, we use fractional distillation. If the temperature is above 25 degrees, we use simple distillation. Means what we used here is the simple distillation. Let us see what is the fractional distillation. For the fractional distillation, we use also same experiment. We will be having one distillation flask, a clamping screw, a stand, a stove to heat, a cork, cold water and thermometer, a vape outlet and a beaker. Okay, here we find, here this is the fractionating column. Here we find thermometer, right? In the previous experiment we find thermometer, and now in this we will be having one fractionating column, so that the vapor which is found here will be moved to the fractionating column and next to it will be moved to the water outlet. Okay, here in this operators will be simple to the distillation, which is the fractionating, means one by one. It is very different. It is similar to that of the distillation process, which is it is only small change. Means fraction means step by step. It is a slow process. And the vapors to cool and condense repeatedly. It cools, the vapor will move to the fractionating column. When it cools becomes water and move to the outlet, and then it moves to the beaker. Okay, will you say some of the examples we can use with this technique? We can also use gases also. Okay, here see, let us see the flow chart with the step by process. Air compress and cool by increasing pressure and decreases the temperature. Here what happens? Here the temperature is very high. Here the temperature decreases, right? Here the temperature which is present in the distillation flask will be not same as the fractionating column. So these vapors will move to the fractionating column and this will be coming to the beaker. Okay, next, this liquid air allowed to warm up slowly in the fractionating distillation column. So this will be slowly cools down and a gas. Argon is a inert gas. Nitrogen, which is also a gas. This chart shows the process of distillation, fractional distillation. And coming to the next, here is a separation of air. Here in the earlier two activities we learned about the separation of liquids. Here in this experiment we will be learning about the separation of components. If we want oxygen gas from the air, what is the process? We have to separate all the gases which are present in the air. Here the air is a combination of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and some tiny droplets of fog, argon, neon, krypton, xenon, radon and helium, right? These all are present in the atmosphere. So let us see how to do this activity. Here the air which is present in this is called filter. Here this will be moved to the air under pressure. This is majorly used in the industrial areas, and it is very simple to understand and easy to and flexible to do it. Then the hot air will move to the move towards this, and this is the cold water where the vapors will be moved to the water outlet, and the closed compressor will be separated and moved to the this, and this contains carbon dioxide, and this is the liquid air which is a fractional distillation column. Here nitrogen will be out, and here we find the liquid oxygen. This is how the process continues. It is easy if you see the diagram, it is easy to understand. Here let us see what is the difference between the mixtures and components. What do you mean by mixture? What do you mean by compounds? Here mixtures are nothing but the compounds which are mixed together to form a mixture, and no new compound is formed. Here the components are nothing but they are the elements. When elements get combined, forms a component. It is a variable composition. The composition of each substance will be fixed. Here in the mixture, the properties are constituent substances. Here they are having different properties. Here they are having same properties. Here the constituent can be separated fairly, means by using the physical methods. Here they will be using some chemical and electrochemical reactions, means addition of any other chemicals will be formed. Here the substances such as copper sulfate are called compounds. Here what do you mean by what are the types of pure substances? What are the types of now let us know what are the types of pure substances. What are the types of substances? Compounds and elements. What do you mean by compound and what do you mean by element? To know what is meant by compound and what is meant by element, let us do an activity. Can you separate the sulfur and oxygen from the copper sulfide? What is the formula for sulfur? The formula for sulfur is S. What is the formula for oxygen? O2. What comes here? Sulfur dioxide. Di means 2. Okay. What is the formula of copper sulfate? Here the copper formula is Cu. Sulfate means 2. Forms copper sulfate. So they are asking, can we separate sulfur and oxygen from copper sulfate? Okay, this is not possible, but if we add some components, it will be possible. So for this experiment, take some concentrated solution of copper sulfate. copper sulfate in a beaker and drop a piece of aluminium. Aluminium formula is Al. Aluminium foil in it. Aluminium foil means it is a combination of some substance. Okay, after some time you will observe a copper deposited on the aluminium. Aluminium gets deposited on the copper. The solution becomes colorless. Here the chemical reaction takes place between the copper ions and the aluminium ions, which get separated. Here the copper sulfate is a mixture, right? It gets separated, means the copper sulfate and aluminium will be combined. Here the copper cannot be separated from the sulfur and oxygen. By any physical process it can be separated as by using the chemical reaction. As I said earlier, using any other component it will be get separated. Here the copper sulfate are said to be as compounds. Compounds is nothing but combination. We can define the compounds as a pure substance which cannot be separated by the two or more by only means of chemical reaction. What do you mean by elements? What do you mean by elements? Elements are divided into metals, non-metals and metalloids. Do you know order the metals? Means iron, copper, etc. What do you mean? Elements. What are elements? Elements are nothing but metals, non-metals, metalloids. Here metals are nothing but which conduct electricity. Okay, what do you mean by non-metals? Non-metals are nothing but which do not conduct electricity. Okay, so if we, what are the examples you can say to conduct electricity? Iron, lead, copper, etc. which do not conduct electricity. The first example we will be thinking about is wood, right? These are the non-metals. Here the Isaac Newton, do you know the scientist Isaac Newton? He was attempted to new elements and studied their properties. And also Henning Brand, Isaac Newton had invented many elements. Henning Brand, he was a German alkylist. Alkylist is nothing but he was the discovered and professionally good in chemistry, is known as alkylist. I think you had studied in your previous classes. He was the first person a boiled urine to discover the phosphorus in the year 1669. But it was not until the but nobody knows until the 18th century. And all the chemists, means who were very aware of chemistry, had developed many ways to purify these components. And also a well-known scientist, Humphrey Davy, was extremely successful in discovering many metals like sodium, magnesium, boron, chlorine and many more elements was discovered by Humphrey Davy. And Robert Boyle used it to term the element, and Lavoisier was the first to establish the useful definition of an element. He defined element in the basic form. So what is meant by element? The matter that cannot be broken down into simpler form of chemical reactions is said to be an element. So sodium, magnesium, boron, chloride, nitrogen, oxygen, these are all the named as different elements. So if any substance can be separated by using any reactions, to use any components, this should be a mixture of these elements. Means if for example if we take sodium chloride, sodium means Na, chloride means Cl, NaCl2, magnesium oxide, MgO, like this. What do you get? Two or more elements that are combined. We understand from this activity, and to the next activity we will learning about understanding the nature of elements, compounds and mixtures. Here we will be dividing into two groups. 5 grams of iron fillings and 3 grams of sulfur powder in a china dish. As I said earlier, in one concept, one beaker on the plate, on the top of it will be placed one china dish, right? As the same china dish. Okay. In the first activity, we will be placing iron fillings. Iron means Fe. The chemical name for iron is ferrum. Okay. Iron fillings and sulfur powder. Sulfur is nothing but S. Check for the magnetism in the material obtained. Bring a magnet near the material and check if the material is attracted towards the. We should for this on the when placed on the china dish, when iron and sulfur, we should check whether the magnetic nature. Magnetic nature, do you know? No. You know na. Magnet means when two magnets come near, they attract each other. When move away, they get attracted, so that they get combined, right? Here in the next activity, when mixed and iron fillings and the sulfur and here only the magnetism nature is seen. To the next activity, will be heated strongly, so that these iron fillings and sulfur gets heated up and becomes red color. And when removed from the flame and set it cool, check the magnetism in nature. So what happens here? We had not heated any component. We had checked first just the magnetism nature. In the next activity, we had taken these two components and had checked the magnetic nature with these help of heated substance. What happens here? The magnetic nature is more, and here the magnetism nature is low when compared to this. Here in the group 1 activity, which consists of physical change. In the group 2, we observe the chemical change. Here means this iron is combined with the sulfur. Here iron, sulfur plus addition of heat. Heat is nothing but combustion. In the combustion, what happens? Air is present. In air, what happens? Oxygen is present and some small gaseous substance is also present. So in group 2, chemical change occurred. In the group 1, two substances are used, iron and sulfur. In the group 2, along with the iron and sulfur, we used heat also. Here. Next part, if we have by setting an experiment. We can use this experiment by using dilute sulfuric acid and dilute hydrochloric acid to the other part, and know all these. For this, the similar, as I said, we had seen experiment of iron sulfur and iron sulfur heat. The similar process we will be taking hydrochloric acid and dilute sulfuric acid, and the same process should also do. Here this is the things which we had learned. Here, what is matter? What is the name of our chapter? Is matter pure? What is meant by matter? The matter may be a solid, liquid or gas. This matter is of two types, pure substance and mixtures. Pure substance. These pure substances are fixed in composition. Mixtures. What are the types of mixtures? Homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. These pure substance, it is of two types, elements, components. What are elements? Individual components means sulfur, nitrogen, oxygen are named as elements. What are meant by composition? Components are nothing but water. Water is a combination of elements, right? Hydrogen is a different element, oxygen is a different element. These two combine to form a compound, right? Homogeneous substance, which is having the uniform composition, having examples of sugar water, salt water, etc. What is meant by heterogeneous substance? Which is a non-composition, means the solute and the solvent will be different. Here the examples may be the sand salt, sugar and salt, water in oil, etc. These are the main topics which we learn in this chapter. The main topics which we one should know after learning this chapter is what is meant by matter, what is mixture, types of mixture, and we had learned what is the definition of solutions and what are the solutions having solute and solvent, and next what are the properties of solution, and what are the types of solutions, and what are the factors that are affecting the solutions, and what are the types of heterogeneous substance which are having a suspension and colloids, and we had learned what are the dispersion medium and dispersion phase, and we also learned the properties of suspension and colloids, and separating the components of the mixture by using sublimation, evaporation, distillation, fractional distillation, and we had also discussed about the activities based on the miscible and immiscible liquids by using some chemical laboratory, and the separation of components of the air, and also we learned about the nature of elements and components, what are the components and what are the elements, and we also learned about what are the things that are totally found in this chapter. Okay, we will be learning about next topic in the next session.